If you don't have any clue about a person's income in the year 2046 in AI era, then you might totally miss this. Most importantly, where there will be a government support money and will this be enough for survival? To live a decent life, this person might have to be a part of the gig economy. The government money which we discuss is the universal basic income. And how will this apply to a huge country like India, which has a large population? Imagine this is 2046 and your child gets education for 500 rupees a month. You get up in the morning and your health checkup is almost free. No education bills, no hospital bills, no stress, right? Sounds like a dream. But here is a twist. If education and healthcare become this cheap, then how will the current economic system work? It will break, because the current economic system was itself not designed where survival could become affordable. Your life depends on two things: how much you earn and how much you spend to survive. You study to learn and you work to earn. This is the loop. But now there is a change. AI is entering this loop and it might just break this loop. In the future, AI might replace the classrooms. AI doctors might replace the diagnostics. Preventive healthcare might become totally inexpensive. So what will happen and how the economy will look like when the two biggest expenses of your life, education and healthcare, collapse? Imagine this: Ravi wants an affordable life. He wants dignity. The current system is built on jobs, work and wages. The system wants you to work, earn and spend, because this is how the current economic model works. But what happens when AI takes over the jobs and you still need money to survive? Imagine Ravi gets up in the morning, his AI smartwatch has already monitored his sleep. It has suggested him the plan for the day, the diet plan and what medicines he needs to take. This could reduce the preventive healthcare costs, but first we need to understand why the healthcare is expensive. Healthcare depends on 4 factors: diagnosis, infra, drug and the labor involved in the hospitals. With continuous monitoring, diagnosis itself will become cheaper. All the health data would be stored for easy access. Another important factor which keeps the cost of healthcare up is the hospital infrastructure. AI might bring us into an era where the hospitals at home might become reality. People would be able to check their vitals and understand the implications for themselves. And if required, of course, they can always consult the doctors. Another important factor that keeps the healthcare cost high is drug discovery, because it takes a lot of simulations, a lot of time, investment to discover a new drug. With AI, it's possible to simulate newer molecules and discover drugs in a relatively shorter time frame, thereby reducing the costs. The current hospital infrastructure also includes labor, the cost of doctors, nurses. So will AI make everything free? No. Preventive healthcare will become inexpensive. While if you really need a complex surgery, then you might have to still go to the hospital and get treatment from the doctor. So in the era of AI will reduce the cost of diagnosis of a disease. It will move from diagnosis of a disease to continuous monitoring of health. This in itself will bring the cost of healthcare down considerably. Now coming to the education of Ravi. Ravi never went to a traditional college. He learnt through AI. He picked up specific skills and he kept on picking newer skills as and when required. So if we compare this with the current education system, we have to understand why it is expensive. The current model of school depends on how much time a teacher is able to give to the students. With the help of AI, the teaching can be personalized and the productivity of a teacher can explode. One teacher can handle many students, and this number could be 4x or 5x or even more than what the teachers are handling right now. The current education is also expensive because of the infrastructure and the amount invested in building those infrastructure. With the AI and the digital classrooms, this cost could come significantly down. There could be instances where people would prefer mobile-first learning. Another biggest cost driver is content creation. We already have seen a lot of parents complaining about how expensive the books are. But with the AI and the digital content, this cost could come significantly down, even closer to zero. What will AI help in doing away altogether with the schools? Probably not. There could still be some elite institution which would be there for providing the brand to their students. On top of that, some students might still need to go to school to learn skills because that is the method which suits them. So with health and education being taken care of, how is Ravi able to work and earn? Ravi has now become a part of gig economy, and some months he earns 5,000 and in some months he earns 50,000. On top of that, he also gets 13,000 rupees from the government as universal basic income, which is just enough for his survival but not for his comfort. So for Ravi, education is cheap, healthcare is cheap. So where does he spend his money on? Lifestyle, experiences, convenience. Now the big question for Ravi is, he is not afraid of survival. The big question for Ravi is, if I don't need to work, why should I work? So we mentioned that Ravi would be able to get universal basic income of approximately 13,000 rupees. Where will this money come from when people would already be losing the jobs? Suppose there is a factory which employs 100 people, and now with the help of AI, the number of people it requires is only 50. So 50 people would be losing their job. And if these people lose their job, they will not have any salary. And if they don't have any salary, how will they spend? And this will be not good for the economic engine. To keep the economic engine running, the government would need to come up with a tax, AI productivity tax. So as the company is already not paying salaries of 50 people, it would be making massive profit. And for the government, one option could be that it would charge more percentage of tax on the output from the use of AI. And this money of tax can be distributed as UBI among the citizens. The current GDP of India is approximately $4 trillion. And if it grows at 9 to 10% nominal growth rate, then the GDP might become approximately 2,000 to 3,000 lakh crores. Government collects 25% of GDP as tax. So total tax pool would be 500 to 700 lakh crores. Let us assume that out of this only 250 lakh crores is the pool for UBI, which is approximately 50% of the tax collected by the government. And if we assume that the population of India grows at a certain pace and it reaches 160 crores, then this amount would become between 12 to 13,000 per month. So what is UBI? Here is the realization. UBI is not charity. UBI, universal basic income, is a necessity, because if people don't have any income, what will they spend and how will the economy work? The economic engine will stop. The businesses will fail. There will be a total collapse of the current economic system. We have to see how the current AI system evolves, because if AI is controlled by a fewer companies, then those companies will become rich. The wealth will concentrate. There will be inequality. The middle class will collapse. There will be no stable jobs. Even from the government perspective, too much tax, the companies leave. Too little tax, inequality explodes. The government has to do a tight rope walking, and its role becomes increasingly important. So what does it mean for us? For people like Ravi, it means that there is a shift from survival economy to a meaning economy. In this new economy, Ravi does not struggle to live. He struggles to find out why he lives the way he lives. So what we can conclude finally? All of this can be summed up in one line. When survival becomes cheap, the purpose becomes expensive.